Let's do our third example for finding the slope of a tangent. And now we're going to be finding the slope of a tangent of the square root of x at x equals 16. So it's a radical function. Before we get into this, you may want to review or go over the videos for rationalizing expressions, more specifically rationalizing two-term expressions. I went over an overview and I did a couple of examples. We're going to have to do that in this question. So first off, we're looking for the slope of tangent. Okay, and we're going to use our difference quotient formula, and we're looking for it at point 16. So it'll be f of 16 plus h minus f of 16 all over h. Let's f of 16 plus h and f of 16, let's do on the side here. So let's start with f of 16. Our function is square root of x, so it's just the square root of 16, which is 4. And then f of 16 plus h, we plug in 16 plus h for the x, so it's just 16 plus h square rooted. We can't do anything more to simplify that. So let's plug in our results here into our difference quotient. So the limit as h goes to 0, f of 16 plus h is the square root of 16 plus h minus f of 16 is 4 all over h. Now what we're going to have to do here, remember, we have to cancel out this h somehow in the denominator. The way we're going to do that is we have to rationalize the numerator. And notice how it's a two-term. It's a radical minus another expression. So the way that we rationalize two-term expressions is that we multiply it by the conjugate, which is the same thing. Since we're rationalizing the numerator, it's the conjugate of the numerator. So is the square root of 16 plus h plus 4. We always do the opposite sign. So square root of 16 plus h plus 4. Notice how the numerator and the denominator are the same here. So it's essentially like multiplying the expression by 1, which keeps it the same, but it changes its format. So the limit as h goes to 0, when we multiply this numerator by its conjugate, that's a difference of squares. So what happens is we just multiply the ends by each other. So the square root of 16 plus h times the square root of 16 plus h, the square roots go away, so it's just 16 plus h. And then negative 4 times positive 4 is minus 16. Over h times the square root of 16 plus h plus 4. Let's keep those two separately. So we'll have 16 plus h plus 4. And then what we can do, I'll continue it here. Notice how the 16s here in the numerator will net out to 0. 16 minus 16 is 0. So we're just left with an h at the top all over. Let's rewrite this, this numerator here. So it's h over the square root of 16 plus h plus 4. The h's cancel out, and we're left essentially with a 1. And now, because that h canceled out from the denominator, we could plug in 0 for h now. So we'll be left with 1 over the square root of 16 plus 4. And the square root of 16 is just 4, so it's 1 over 4 plus 4, so our final answer is 1 over 8. So the slope of the tangent of the function square root of x at x equals 16 is 1 over 8.